the late news and some leftover chicken. I tell you, my life sucks. It's Late Night with David Letterman. Tonight, actor Ed Begley Jr., political columnist and commentator George Will, and comedian Margaret Smith. Plus, Paul Schaefer and the world's most dangerous man. And now, the only person in the world who understands me, really understands me, David Letterman.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I think we have really put together a fine piece of television entertainment for you folks tonight, both here in the studio audience as well as our lovely home viewers all over North America. Thank you. You know, we're getting very close now. The Winter Olympics are just around the corner, as we say, when we don't know exactly how far off they are. And then the Summer Olympics, I guess, which NBC is covering from Seoul, will take place in August or September or whenever. Anyway, today the flags representing the 161 nations that will be competing in the Summer Olympics in Seoul were raised in that city. And it was interesting. I was looking at some of the photos of the various flags from the various countries. Norway has an interesting flag. It's a solid white background, and in the center, I didn't realize this, is a blue figure of Snoopy. Oh, boy, here's another long one. Oh, boy, is that just one page or two, Don? That's just the one. All right, we'll try the one then. Well, the Miami Herald is now charging that Gary Hart received illegal campaign help in 1984 and 1988 from a California video magnate, and Gary Hart is now saying that, okay, if these charges are proven to be true, he will, one, withdraw from the race on February 1st, and then re-enter March 15th. So... And then what would be the last one? Well, you almost need a bookmark for some of these, don't you? All right, let's just try it. I got nothing else to do but read tonight anyway. Well, HBO announced that they will produce a commission of inquiry investigating allegations against Austrian President Kurt Waldheim. They will speak to witnesses, have lawyers, and hold a trial. And I understand if he is found guilty, he could lose his cable for up to a year. Hurt him. Now, this would be your favorite, right, Kevin? All right. Well, you know, Southern California, our neighbors to the southwest, they are presently being battered by bad storms all week, and I understand yesterday the winds were so high that they actually moved Lonnie Anderson's hair. Was that you, Paul? Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Here, now, kids, say hello to our good friend, Mr. Paul Schaefer. He's right over there.
Thank you so much, everybody. Boy, I'll tell you, have you seen the backstage scene today?
What's that, Paul?
It's nutty back there. There's high security tonight.
Why would that
Guys,
be?
bouncers with lifts, a lot of celebrities in the house tonight.
Really? In this house?
Yeah.
What are they doing here?
They're just backstage hanging out.
Like who? Name some names.
I don't want to name names, but they're hanging with Ed Begley Jr. That's all.
Ed, well, sure. He's a very, very well-known, very hip
Seems
kind
to be
of
a dapper
broad,
man about town,
yeah.
Some broads are here.
Huh? How did the deal go last night?
Oh, you're the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That's right.
Yeah, it was quite incredible.
Paul Schaefer in our band was, you're sort of the house band for this function every year, right? And as a result, at the end of the evening, you get to play with all of these guys who are in attendance and all of the inductees, right?
Everybody was a great sport. Yeah, everybody played last night. George, Ringo, you know. I found myself conducting Bob Dylan, singing like a Rolling Stone, and actually coming over to him and saying, "How does it feel?" And he he turned to her and said, "How did you do?" I said, you know, it's like a real Walter Mitty.
Now-
But the biggest thrill for me was meeting Ramblin' Jack Elliott. You know him.
I know Ramblin' Jack
He
Elliott.
speaks very highly of you.
Yeah, well, give him my best.
I will. And Mickey. Greg Sillinganes, actually. Mickey's musical director said all that.
I don't know any of these people.
Mickey, man.
I'm sorry.
Michael
Now,
Jackson.
But seriously,
Mickey,
did
you
my
know.
name come up in any fashion?
Everybody said to say hi to you.
No, really?
Absolutely everyone.
But I mean, you got a sense that it was a positive reference.
With you?
Yeah.
No question about it. It seems that you know everybody in the world.
Yeah.
And Ringo was quoted as saying, "Yeah."
You know who I ran into today coming to work? I parked the car and I'm walking to work, and guess who I run into? This was very strange and kind of sad. Willard Scott, the NBC Today Show weatherman. Willard is walking across 49th Street, and I'm making a turn right there, and I said, "Willard, hi, how are you doing?" And I talked to the guy for about 20 minutes. He had no idea who I was. Now that's the truth. He thought I was like some guy wanting a handout or something. He used to keep saying, "Oh, hi, bud, how's it going, guy? Nice to see you, pal." A lot of that stuff. 20 minutes we talked.
Right. I had no idea. No idea you were.
And then sooner or later they came off and towed him.
Funny. Now, was he wearing the toupee?
Had no hair on his head, no hat, no nothing. Nothing on his head. He was, dressed in an
coverage at all.
Had no idea who I was. The guy's in a fog. I give him 2 more weeks on that show. What are we doing here? I tell you what, let's do the top 10 list second. We're going to do it in a minute. I want to get something off my chest, and I've been talking about this sort of semi-seriously, but you have to understand something. I'm very serious about this. A couple of years ago, NBC came to me and they said, "Dave, we couldn't be happier with you. We couldn't be more proud of the show, and everything is going so well. We would like to redecorate your office. Top to bottom, wallpaper, carpet, anything you want. Chandeliers, entryways, the whole thing. We'll do it. We'll pick up the tab. You just tell us what you want." And I said, "This is a very, very generous offer, and of course I am flattered, but my wants and needs are simple." And I explained to them really what I wanted, and we put together some plans, and as the plans got put together, they kept adding things on. How about this? How about a tea-shine machine? How about an outboard motor? And on. How about a salad bar? How about a big roasting spit for meat? On and on and on, and I thought, well, okay, sure, this is more than I want or need, but okay, sure, we'll do it. Well, to make a long story short, if that's possible at this point, finally, NBC, we hear back. We hear nothing from them, and we're beginning now to hear rumblings. We never hear anything directly from them, so they send like a little weasel emissary down, and we said, "Whatever happened to Dave's office like 2 years ago?" And they said, "Oh, we couldn't really do that." And, it wouldn't have been so bad, but they're the ones who brought it up. The jerks here running the office redecoration program. And everybody else got a lovely new office. Morty got a lovely new office and everything else. So now, as a result, this is what my office currently looks like. It's not awful, look, but it's kind of like the back room at an OTB. There's just an ugly carpet and the walls should be painted, and there's the curtains need to be, and that's Ernesto, my Philippine manservant. But there are things that I would like to change. So I've been tormenting about this, and it finally occurred to me, if you want something done in New York City, there's only one man to do it, and that, of course, is Donald Trump. Take a look at some of the things he's been able to accomplish in his career. That's the Trump Tower right there on Fifth Avenue, and you get apartments in there like $300-400 a month. There's the first book this man writes, this one, The Art of the Deal, goes right to #1. It's the runaway bestseller. What else has he done? Well, he's having lunch with Valerie Bertinelli. Not a bad accomplishment when you think about it. And he had the New Jersey Generals. Oh, all right, we'll throw that one in. But look at this next one. Look, now see, this is what I'm getting to. This is an ice skating rink located in Central Park. This is Wallman Rink. It's a landmark. People used to love to go up there and skate. So it breaks down, something happens. And for 2 years, this city, this great, teeming metropolis, cannot seem to get the repairs made. So the ice rink is closed for like over 2 years. Finally, Donald Trump steps in and he says, "Look, I'll do it, okay?" He gets it done, he gets it repaired, and people are skating like literally 2 days later. It took took him like a weekend to repair Woolman Rink. So that's the kind of thing I want Don to do for me, because when he was on the show, I think he said, Dave, if you ever need anything, give me a call. So call him up, and we'll just ask him if he would be interested in this little project. This is Donald Trump. I have a direct line to Donald Trump anytime, day or night. We're very, very good friends. Very wealthy man.
You obviously think he's fabulous.
Oh, I think, yeah, you couldn't find a nicer guy.
Hello.
Hello, my name is Dave Letterman. Who am I speaking
Hello,
to?
David Letterman. This is Donald Trump. How are you?
See, exactly, see? Donald Trump. Don, thank you very much for taking the call. What are you doing today? First of all, where are you right now?
Well, right now I'm at a little office, and I'm trying to make another deal, Dave, so I can keep up with you. Where are you right now, Dave?
Well, I have a TV show I do every night here at NBC.
Not bad.
Yeah, we tape it every afternoon.
Right.
So, are you evicting anybody today, Don?
No, I don't like evicting people. I don't like doing that, Dave. That's one of the unpleasant chores. I don't do that.
You turn anybody's steam off, Don? No, these are only jokes, Don, because you and I know we have a relationship, both private and public, and we're pretty good friends. Isn't that right, Don?
Absolutely correct.
And the last time you were on the show, Don, didn't you say to me, Dave, anything I can do for you, you name it?
Anything whatsoever, Dave.
Yeah. How's your lovely wife, by the way?
She's fantastic.
Oh, good. And everything's going all right? The Empire's coming along?
The Empire's coming along just fine.
Okay. All right, Don, let me explain to you what I would like you to consider doing for me. It's along the lines of what you did for the Woolman Rink.
Okay, well, that was easy, Dave.
Right. You stepped in, and you were able to accomplish what, for some reason, this city could not accomplish, and you did it in a relatively short period of time, and once again, now people can enjoy this beautiful ice skating facility, and thanks to you, Don, thanks again, because nobody ice skates more than I.
Well, good. Very good.
Now, the project that I have in mind is kind of along those lines. I, for some reason, can't get NBC to make good on their offer to redecorate my office.
Right.
It's been about 2 years now, and they're still not coming through. Would you be interested in this project?
I think it would be very exciting. In fact, I can think of nothing I'd rather do, but perhaps you could try going directly and maybe negotiating with CBS or ABC. Have you thought about that? You know, I looked at your ratings, David, and I know how high they are, and I would say that if you walked over to CBS or ABC, you'll have your office decorated very, very quickly.
Exactly, Don. That's the kind of thing I knew I would get from you, because I've been getting, late at night, I get these calls from Brandon Stoddard, like 4 in the morning. The guy at ABC calls me like 4:30 every morning talking to me about this kind of thing. But what I need to do is get the office redecorated immediately.
Okay.
And it's nothing fancy. Here, I'm going to put up a picture now of what I'm interested in, and I'll tell you what I got in mind. I just want a desk, just a desk. I want a map of the world, and I want flags. I want like an American flag and an NBC flag, and on the carpet, embossed into the carpet, I want the GE logo.
It sounds like an awfully exciting office.
But I think you could knock this out in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely right, David. And to you, I'd be glad to do that.
All right,
I'd
and
be glad
listen,
to do it.
you know, if you want, you can call this little office, you can call that Television City if you want.
Well, okay, why don't we do it? We'll call it a mini television city.
Perfect. I knew we could work out a deal.
Well, you and I have a deal, and I'll be over there tomorrow to start working, and I'll do it myself, David. How's everything else going?
Everything else is going pretty well, and I'll tell you what, Don, from now on, I'll do all my gambling in your casino.
Well, I hope so. I hope so.
Listen, have a good night. Thanks for talking with us.
Thank you very much, Dave.
All right,
Good
Don.
luck.
Bye-bye.
So long.
We don't have time for this. All right, we, hot in here again. Be right back with Begley Jr. Welcome back to the show. Ed Begley Jr. is here, and Margaret Smith and George Will. Pretty good show, don't you think, Paul?
George Will, yeah. George Will made it by.
Yeah, George Will is here tonight. Doc is not here. Doc is here. Doc is not here. Let's do the top 10 list now. But that's true. The guy from ABC called me one night about 4 in the morning.
4 a.m.
Yeah, I think he was, you know. Brandon Stoddard, the guy at ABC.
I've heard of it.
He phoned me up and just wanted to chat.
4 a.m.
Yeah.
Is what's happening, Dave, or what?
Yeah, kind of that kind of thing. I think the guy's loopy. Here we go. The top 10 list from the home office in Lincoln, Nebraska. Tonight's category, top 10 least popular attractions at Disney World. Now, see, these would be the least popular attractions at Disney World. These are not the most popular, they're the least popular. Top 10 least popular
Attractions.
Number 10, the raw sewage flume. Number 9, Oprah Mountain. Number 8. Number 8, Moses Malone's Enchanted Laundry Hamper. Number 7, Parade of Short Actors and Stifling Animal Scutes. Number 6, Peg-Leg Pete's Prison Shower Rooms. Number 5, Muggy Land. Number 4, Hall of Vice Presidents. Number 3, Waltz, Walk-In Freezer and Trips. Number 2, Turn the Hose on Lady and Tramp. Lady and the Tramp. And the number 1, the least popular attraction at Disney World, Peter Pan's all-male cinema. I like being here with you every night. It's fun. I love the musicality.
Thank you very much.
I do. No, I do. Our first guest has been nominated 5 times for Emmys for his performance on the program St. Elsewhere. His most recent project is a film of Van Tyler's novel, The Accidental Tourist. Folks, please welcome Ed Begley, Jr.
How are you? Town. I'm very good.
Where were you born originally?
Hollywood, California. Went to grade school in New York, right here in this fine state out in Long Island.
Were your folks originally from New York?
Dad's from Hartford, Connecticut, doing movies in Hollywood, then here for stage. So I was an early bi-coastal type.
What was the earliest age you started having memories of California?
35. I don't remember much of California, really. It was all a blur in the 70s.
But for a kid, California would be a great place to go.
Yeah, about 3, 4, I remember California. Then it was very nice. There's like lima bean patches across the street and cornfields. Used to be like where I live now, Ojai, very pretty.
Which is, what, a couple hours north of
Yeah, it's up an hour and 15 minutes, Heath County.
Do you like lima beans?
I do. I like them a lot.
I love them.
All manner of beans.
Yeah, I think they're my favorite vegetable.
It's a good food. And I like Chris Elliott's beans Marlon's beans. That he I saw Chris Elliott. I spoke to him in the hallway before the show through his interpreters. And is that thing going to clip? Well, never mind.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
Never mind.
Now, Paul alluded to you being here with some kind of an entourage. Is that true, Ed?
I have some guests who join me. I think it's pretty customary to have guests join you. They're sitting watching in the green room.
Really?
And
Are they friends of yours, acquaintances?
close personal friends of mine.
And these are, we would know the names of these people? They're famous in their own right?
They're famous and they're friends. Mary Steenburgen is here, the wonderful Mary Steenburgen and Carrie Fisher.
You know, they've both been on this show.
I know.
Yeah.
And they're here now. It's kind of, they're not groupies, of course. They're just friends. I want to make that distinction very clear. I'm not a member of the Mormon Church at all, though I embrace some of their precepts. They're here simply as friends. I want to make that very clear right now.
And how long have you been friends with these people? Do these go way back?
Yeah, I've been friends with them for a while. I moved to Ojai because of Mary, really. She had me up there for a weekend with her husband, Malcolm McDowell, and next thing you know, they had a realtor round in the morning.
She has, as I recall, although I've not seen her in a couple of years, because she won't do the show again, she has lovely facial features. Lovely bones. No.
Oh.
Lovely bone structure in her face.
Yeah.
Striking woman. And Carrie Fisher, the other one.
Gorgeous.
Lovely
lady.
and very witty,
Very nice. And you should see what she's done with her hair. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And the dermabrasion has worked very well. But no,
let's talk about the show St. Elsewhere. How long has this program been on the air? This is like 6 years already it's been on? 5 years?
6 years, yeah. And it's, this is the end. We just heard that we're not going to be coming back.
Now, how did you take that news?
Well, I took it. I'm going to miss the great script. Miss working with the people. But more than anything, I'm going to miss the money, really. I'll miss the cast.
Yeah.
And it's been great. I shouldn't be glib about it for a moment. I'm working other things, but geez, it's going to be a shame not to see those people. Imagine, seeing all these people for the last
That
time.
would be the worst part of it. I've had a couple of shows shot down out from under me, and you do miss the folks that you've grown accustomed to working with.
What would you do without Bud Noman?
Yeah.
And Biff and Sid and Will and the boys?
But it's one of those shows that was a favorite of a lot of people from the very beginning, and will always be on the list of everybody's list of all-time great shows. St. Elsa. I mean, everybody singled
That's
it
very
out.
kind.
Well, don't you think it was always a quality effort?
It was.
Yeah.
And they did very well critically, a critically acclaimed show, and they have a certain audience, people built in, but I guess it's run its course. And it was great while it lasted.
6 years, though, is a long time.
That's very good. You can count, I think, on 2, 3 hands the amount of shows that have gone over 6 years historically. Our shows.
Exactly. What about Howie Mandel? How do you like working with Howie?
Howie's great. He's a good friend of mine, and he's looking for a position now commensurate with his talents. Are they hiring gas station attendants here in Manhattan?
But was he always goofy when you were trying to work and stuff? Or was
He's a
he
goofy kind of guy.
Yeah.
He's very, but he's level-headed off stage. He has a different off stage persona. I know you give him a lot of ribbon, and I know it's good-hearted.
It is good-hearted because I mean he has an interesting career. One as a relatively serious actor on that show, and then also as Howie Mandel, a guy who works in diapers.
He's very funny, nice guy. One of those nice guys.
Nice guy. I know Howie. All right, we'll do a commercial here and continue more of this with Ed Begley Jr. Very good. Very good.
Speaking
We're
of all
lucky to have them.
these people backstage now, I neglected to mention Tom Scott's wife is back there, Lynn Scott, and
Tom was here last night.
he was here last night. He played. He was bumped from the show, but don't feel guilty in the least. He's fine. We went out to dinner last night. He's been walking around. He was walking around near the pier when I saw him, blowing that sad and soulful sax. But do not feel guilty. He's going to go see some sights. He's going. I heard something about a bridge.
No.
And the World Trade Center. Don't
Tom
feel
will be
bad.
back. Tom will be
Good.
very nice man, very talented musician. And
Good
we
friend of mine.
just ran out of time last night.
Yeah.
Forgive me for not knowing, but your father won an Academy Award, correct?
For
What
Sweet
film?
Bird of Youth.
Sweet Bird of Youth.
Yes.
How old were you when that happened?
Let's see, Sweet Bird of Youth. I was in military school, so I guess I was 13. Yeah.
Was in those days, was that a huge thrill for a 13-year-old?
Military school?
No.
It was. It was a big thrill. The commandant came and told me that my dad had won, and he prepared me for a newspaper in Niagara Falls who wanted to interview me. It was a big moment for me, too.
Yeah.
I was, a star by osmosis.
Yeah. Did your father keep the statue around the house? Did he travel with the thing?
He carried it around. It
Is
was
that
kind
right?
of sad in a way.
Yeah.
He carried it around. He was a great guy. I miss him a lot. But he literally carried it for the first year that he won it, from 63 to 64. It was in the trunk of his car.
Is that true?
Oh, yes. He had it in the back of the car.
And he was terribly proud of it then.
Very proud of it. And people, you go to the market and somebody wants your autograph. You often want to pose with a picture. He would go, wait a second, and he'd go to the car and get the Oscar and pose with it. It was very sweet, really.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say it's sad. It was sweet.
And might come in handy if you have to jack up the rear end, too.
Exactly. Who carries blocks around? You got something hard and metal. But one time he let me hold it, and I dropped it and broke it. And
Back to military school then, I guess.
military school, exactly.
Your dad, when he would give the impression of being a very sweet, nice man. Is that?
He was. He had that voice, though. He was a very nice guy. But when you'd hear that, Eddie,
Yeah.
you knew it was time to come back. Come back to the house. Eddie! Okay. I'll be fine. No, he never hit me. I didn't. Why do I do
I
that?
know, it's because it's an easy joke, and
It's
why
an
not?
easy
Sure,
joke.
yeah. Let's do the date thing. I named a date. Tell me how this works, because last time you were here, we didn't get a chance to do it, and I was
How
curious
do you
about
know about these things? You were the KGB. How did you know I could do this?
Well, I think we almost discussed it
You're a
whenever you
major
were
news
here.
organization. Yes, I can tell you. Any date this century takes me longer for other centuries. Let's keep it this century. I can
All right.
tell you what day of the week it is. Give me the year first we're dealing with. It'll help me speedway.
All right, I can give you my birthday
Yes.
then, and then you'll tell me what.
I'll tell you what day of the week it is. Tell me the year you were born.
Now, this doesn't seem like much of a trick. Do I understand this?
You tell me your birth date. You say it's like September 9th,
Right.
whatever year, and
Right.
I'll tell you that was a Wednesday.
I see.
Can you do that? You probably don't care to, do you?
Okay, let's try
It's
it.
a good trick.
Let's try it. And how do we know? Oh, I guess I will know.
Yeah, if
Okay,
you
I
know,
know,
you can
no.
get a calendar.
No, I do know. I know.
If you've got a phone book,
No,
this
I
is
know.
a major news
Okay,
organization.
here we-
Get a phone
All
book
right.
in the back.
April 12th,
April 12th.
1947.
That's a Saturday.
Is
it a Saturday?
It was a Saturday. But now, how did you know that?
I can
You
do
phoned
that.
my mom, didn't
No,
you?
no, I can do that this century. I can do it other years, but it really takes a while.
But how?
There's a set of numbers. I won't bore you with the whole thing. There's a set of numbers, and there's numbers for the years. And, two years, that was easy. My wife was born in 47. My wife's Ingrid, and so I knew that year right away. When you said 47, I know what that is. Give me another one.
Does this ever have any useful application?
Yes. Somebody says here, let's get together, and it's January. They say, let's get together. This thing, the ski thing is in September, and it's September 27th. I don't know what day that is, and you can say right away what day it is.
First national broadcast of Dick Clark's American Bandstand, August 5th, 1957.
57, just a second. 57, and August
Right.
of 57, August what?
August 5th.
I say that's a Monday.
Tuesday.
I mean, shoot. Wait a second. Give me one more. Wait a second.
We have to give him one more.
Please give
All
me
right, now
another
here's the
chance.
second part of the question. What was Dick wearing?
He was wearing that checkered thing.
That's right.
The pinky
Okay,
lee thing.
all right, quick, one more, because we're just dead here on time. I know, don't make faces at me. I'm trying.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not you, it's me. First appearance of the Gabor sister on the Merv Griffin Show. You probably know this anyway. October 11th, 1962.
October 11th. I say that's a Thursday.
Exactly right. It was a Thursday.
I had to redeem my... How did I get it?
Begley Jr., ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up in this half hour, Margaret Smith will be out here, and also in a couple of minutes, George will be joining us. Tomorrow on the program, Tracy Ullman will be here. From the Chicago Bears, Iron Mike Ditka. And singer Michael Bolton. I'm the only one who doesn't know him, right?
Well, no, I wouldn't put it that way. But he's a very hot, young, new, excited singer.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's the way we like him. That'll be
Fresh, young talent.
That's right. That'll be tomorrow night on the program. Now, our next guest is a regular panelist on This Week with David Brinkley. Have you ever seen this show, by the way, Paul?
David Brinkley?
Yeah.
No, yes, I have seen it.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I've seen Mr. Willis.
Yeah. It's a very good show, don't you think?
Yes, it is.
My favorite part is the little round table at the end when they chat about world events.
That's the commercial for Toyota.
I know you're preoccupied with your new friends Ringo and George. Anyway, his latest book is The New Season, A Spectator's Guide to the 1988 election. Please say hello to George Will. Hi, George. Nice to see you. Thank you very much for being here. Now, that's interesting. You come out, and you're certainly well known for what you do, being a commentator and a columnist and political observer, and the crowd goes wild.
And they're all voters.
Let's talk a little bit about This Week with David Brinkley. I love the end part where it's usually you, Sam Donaldson, David Brinkley, and who else? They change it periodically, don't they?
Hunting, Carter,
Right.
Tom Wicker, Washington, Rocky Williams.
Yeah. Who was the guy that left about 3 months ago from another Carter guy?
Jody Powell.
Yeah, right. And you guys talk about anything that happens to be current.
About an hour before the show, David sits down and says, what do you want to talk about? And Sam will say, this, and I'll say, American Lieutenant race, something like that. And that's the way it'll be.
Yeah.
So we don't talk about it beforehand. We
Right.
just pick the topic.
Has the discussion on the program ever become so spirited that it, tumbles out into the lobby of the TV station where you do it?
No, not really.
Yeah. Has you ever been? I mean, do you ever get so worked up that you have to remind yourself you're on TV?
Sam does.
Last night when I announced to the people that you were going to be on the show, I was reminded of a few years ago receiving a letter from you. Kind of a little snotty job. Taking me to task for, I guess, how I had handled an interview with a guy from Playboy magazine. Now, first of all, was that you who wrote the letter?
I wrote a letter, not accurately described that one.
Oh, okay. Well, then
That's
you
right.
describe it, George. No.
I wrote a letter because you had a gentleman from Playboy.
Right. I think he handled the letters.
And he did his sort of bit with a lot of jokes. And I said, what is a guy as witty and intelligent as Letterman doing in company like this? That was the gist of the letter.
No, I think you're actually right, because the guy, all of his humor was based on some unpleasant visual images.
Yes.
Or kind of off color and sort of smutty.
Very.
Yeah. But, you know, I was taken that you would take the trouble to write a letter to me expressing that viewpoint, you know, because who am I to you and vice versa, really.
But fair enough to write.
No, I don't see, no. But do you do that a lot, George? If you see something that you have a thought about, do you jot off a letter?
Occasionally.
Yeah.
Mr. Begley his show got one from me about
Oh, really?
5 years ago.
Yeah. Regarding?
Well, they had said something about Down syndrome children. I have a Down syndrome child. And it was inaccurate. And it was left hanging in the air, and therefore a lot of parents might think it was true and be terrified.
Yeah. Do you get the sense that people are writing fewer letters now than they may have 20 years ago?
Well, there's no question. The telephone is going to be a great loss to literature. If you read the collections of Evelyn Waugh's letters, Virginia Woolf's letters, no one writes anymore. I don't. You write any letters?
I started writing letters
to you
in the last week. No, because it occurs to me, and I know this is going to sound juvenile and why waste television time by saying this, but it's fun to get mail.
It is.
Yeah, you race out to the little mailbox, and there's a little letter. Somebody has taken the time to write you a little note.
And it's challenging. Do you like to write?
Yeah, I enjoy it.
I love to write.
All right, let's talk about, speaking of writing, let's talk about the book. It's the new season, and it has to do with
The 88 race.
the 88 race, both sides of the aisle, as they say. All right.
It's not a profile of the candidates. It's about the numbers, who's been winning what. It's all about how to get to Chief Letterman. That's all that this is about. It's 270
Electoral votes. And what insights can you share with us out of the book now?
Well, that the Democratic Party has a terrible problem because the Republican Party since 1952 has won 6 out of 9 elections and has what is developing as the Electoral College lock. If you take all the states that have voted Republican, 7 or 8, or, as is the case with monomaniacal Arizona, all 9 times in the last 9 elections,
Monomaniacal.
you get 29 states with 289 electoral votes, which is 19 more than they needed to win.
All right.
So the Democrats have to find someone who can make them competitive down south and out west.
Is anybody going to buy this book, George? I can't keep up with you. You've got these figures, and I'm just thinking to myself, good
Well, that's
Lord.
why I wrote them down.
This
You
would
can,
be-
you can read it again.
Do you read a lot yourself? Do you have much time to read?
Sure.
Yeah. How many books do you read in like a week or so?
One a week, maybe.
One a week? What kind of things do you read?
I was interested that Mr. Begley is doing a movie on Ann Tyler's book. I read a lot of Ann Tyler.
Yeah.
Wonderful novel.
Mostly fiction or a
lot of
combination?
fiction, a lot of fiction. You get sort of a circle of journalism. after that.
Yeah, I would suppose so. And do you ever? I know some people have ways where they can do several things. They can actually listen to books.
Oh, yeah, books on tape.
Yeah, do you do that?
I do that indeed. There's a place in Newport Beach, California, called Books on Tape. And they rent them. They're unabridged. They're read by superb readers. And yeah, I jog listening to them.
Really?
Oh, sure. I go through a book a week, listen to, and otherwise wasted time.
Yeah. See, that's interesting. That would not have occurred to me to do that.
It's not easy. You think listening is naturally breathing. It's not. You have
Yeah.
to develop this. Politicians take in information by listening better than by reading because they're always being briefed and sitting in hearings.
Yeah, they're always on the go, and people are shouting at them here and
They
there.
develop different lobes of the brain.
Yeah. Quickly, the Cubs this year. What do you think?
As you know, they last won the World Series in 1908, which was 2 years before Tolstoy died.
He was a giant Cub fan himself.
That's right.
Yeah. I think he actually died in the pavilion out there, didn't he? So, do they have a shot at all this year?
Sure.
Okay.
Andre Dawson will hit 49 home runs.
He's an amazing ball player. The book is called George F. Will, the new season. George, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Good to see you.
Thank you very much for being here. We'll be right back with Margaret Smith. next guest is a very funny young woman who will be performing tomorrow through Sunday at Giggles. That's right, Giggles in Seattle, Washington. Folks, please welcome Margaret Smith.
Hi. I went home for Christmas this year, first time in like 4 years, you know. It was amazing how nothing has changed. My mother still cooks from the time she wakes up in the morning till we puke. But I found out I'm an aunt. Yeah, my sister Monk had a baby. 1 pound, 11 ounces. Yeah, the doctor said her head is only about as big as an orange. It's like now I can't eat oranges. Until the head gets bigger. But Monk had the roughest life out of all of us. She went prematurely gray. She was totally gray by senior year in high school. Yeah, in the yearbook, they had to put her in the section with the teachers. But it was nice running into old friends, you know. Ran into a guy I haven't seen in like 10 years. You know, went out for a few drinks. I don't drink, but he does. After he had like 3 drinks, I'm thinking to myself, geez, Bob never acted mental before. You know, he started going like this. And I don't want to say, Bob, are you mental? I like him, though. I like him because he fights. Everywhere we go, he starts a fight. You know. I love fights. I don't like the actual fight. I like the loose change on the ground afterwards. And I saw my friend Jill. Jill's about this big, you know. She's always making up excuses about how great it is to be short. Like she said to me the other day. Short people live a lot longer than tall people. And I said, no, they don't. They're just so irritating. It seems like they're around longer. Yeah, it was interesting, though, going home after all these years. The dynamics of the family, like my childhood, all came back to me. It was like I was a middle child, so, you know, I was too nerdy to hang out with my older sister. I was constantly trying to hang out with her. She never would let me. She'd hang out up at the Woolworths counter in her blonde Marlo Thomas hairdo. You know, with the white lipstick and the dark sunglasses. She was constantly smoking her cigarettes. She'd be like this. I'd walk in trying to hang around with her. She'd be like this. Get out of here. I'm not kidding. You're not hanging around with me. I'm not kidding. I'll kill you when we get home. You're dead. So I picked up the mustard packet off the counter, and I'm going like this in her face, you know. And I'm not going to get it on her, but, you know, broke open. You know, like squirts on her face diagonally, and a little bit hanging off the cigarette, and she goes, "Did it get on me?" I'm like, yeah, if you take off some of the makeup, maybe you'd feel it. Thank you.
We'll be right back, folks. Have a seat, Margaret. Thank you so much. Nice to see you again, Margaret. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
You're going to be at Giggles, or as it says here on the card, Giggled.
It's past tense.
Right.
It won't be there when I get
It giggled its way out of business in Seattle. A nice club or a dump?
It's not. I'm playing nicer places now.
Well, that's good.
Like I used to play. You know, you start out in the guys like the worst is this biker bar. It's like I did my, 2/3 of the way through my routine, not one laugh. Then I said something really obscure. This guy starts clapping like crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, thank you, thank you. And then I looked under the lights, and he just couldn't get the ketchup out of the bottle.
It's a condiment ovation.
Yeah.
Very nice. Ever thought about working in Las Vegas? I would think that it might be, it's tough to work there under any circumstances, but I think I might have some trouble.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm working nicer places. I played the Dunes, the comedy store at the Dunes. Sure. And I don't know if you like the way the women dress there. It's like they hardly wear anything.
American community. Oh, the people who work in Las Vegas?
Right, and they dress with hardly anything on, and they...
No, I hate that. Oh. What gets into them?
Yeah. But they, and they wear all that sequins. It's like they wear so much sequins when they walk by, you're spilling
So that's no good.
And then they all have the long nails. It's like shellfish,
Yeah. So what are you doing next? You're still on the road, or do you want to be a stand-up comic all your life, or do you want to go into other things?
Well, I want to do movies and write.
Yeah. Do you have something else coming up?
Nothing I want to do.
Yeah, but that's life, isn't
You
it?
had to bring it up.
I'm sorry.
Well, next week, starting tomorrow, I'm at Giggles, and then the week after that, I'm at Cobb's Pub in
San Francisco, another nice place. Yeah, okay. Nice to have you here again, Margaret. We got to do a commercial, and then we'll be right back.